Ray had overcome a lot of obstacles to be able to keep his brother with him at school. What obstacles did you have to overcome to finally get the film made?
Well, the obstacles that we had to overcome to get this film made were many. In that, I initially set up the film and was lucky enough to get Ray's rights 14 years ago when the story happened, back in 2006. I was at another studio at the time. We developed a screenplay and then just never got a green light on that movie. And I knew we had a great film in there, and I told Ray he had to just be patient. And I didn't think it would take 14 years, but we kept in touch over the years, and I just said, Ray, I'm gonna get this movie made. So when Disney Plus announced that their venture was happening, and I'd made a lot of movies at Disney, and I felt like this one would be perfect for the platform, and we brought it over, and was one of the first things that they bought. And again, everything's about timing. I think back in 2006, I brought it by, and I tried to get it at Disney at the time, and it was a different regime, and it just didn't happen. So everything lined up now, and that's what happens when movies end up getting made. There's an ease, and you get these lucky breaks and start to put things together. We continue to work on the script. Brought in another writer, brought in Reggie, and then the cast part of it, and it was just amazing, big team effort.
Reginald, what is it about the story that made you want to make this film?
I loved this story the minute I heard it. I was intrigued. Then I read the script, and the script was so good. Every 20 pages, I had to get up and start pacing because I was just so emotionally engaged in it. And it was pretty clear 45 pages in, I was going back to work. And then I read the ending. I was like, oh my God. So I said, let's go. So very grateful that Mark considered me, very glad to get right to work. Wonderful meeting Ray, hearing his story firsthand, and having him with us on set as we made the movie.
Great. Ray, how has it been for you finally seeing your story being made into a movie with actors playing you and Faye?
Finally seeing my story being made into a movie has been exciting and humbling for me. I'm blessed to have this experience. Not many people get to go through this. And I'm more than elated. I'm more than thankful for this experience, and I hope to continue to inspire others with my story. And I can't, there's not much more to say than that, because it's still all happening so fast to me right now, so I'm still taking it in. So it's been wonderful.
Great. Mark, you've made a lot of sports-themed movies. How is this one similar to the other films that you've produced, and how is it different?
I think the big difference in this story is that it has diversity in it, and I think that's great, because now these fantastic stories have a better chance to reaching the screen, and that's amazing. We brought in an African American writer, brought in Reggie to direct. The cast, most of the crew too was African American down in Atlanta, and I think that just helped with making the movie feel authentic. I think it's the big kind of call word that you hear now, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. I'm really proud of all the films I've made, but this one's special. I've been with it a long time, and to be on this road and now have this story embraced, and we always knew that there'd be a big audience out there, and I think the platform's going to be positioned great. I mean, there's so many subscribers now; it's over 70 million. That's really exciting. When we set up the movie, there were 0. It hadn't even been launched, and in exactly a year, it's 70 million. That's staggering. So I think there's going to be a great audience and a big audience for it, and really proud to bring it to people's homes.
Great. Reginald, what qualities did you see in Jay and Thaddeus that made you cast them in this film?
I was very nervous about the casting process because, for the role of Ray, you had to find an actor who was not only a talented thespian, but also had to have athletic ability as well. And to get a great young actor to play to play, the little brother was even more of a challenge because you got a young actor and either you have it or you don't. And I was so grateful that Jay Reeves and Thaddeus Mixon walked in because they nailed it. Not only were they, wonderful actors, Jay had fantastic athletic ability, but the thing you can't fake is the chemistry they had with each other. And they really put the time in. They hung out all the time on the weekends, after hours. So, that brotherly warmth and connection that you see on screen, that was very real. And I feel very fortunate to work with these amazing young actors at the start of two careers I think would be very long lasting in Hollywood.
Ray, how has it been being back at Clemson after all these years?
Clemson is home. Being back at Clemson is wonderful because Clemson is home. Is always a place that I consider myself comfortable and considered welcome, and my family as well. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I'll continue my life in Clemson, around Clemson, because once you go to Clemson, then you'll learn as alumni that you're always going to be a part of a family, no matter where you're at, and no matter what country you're in, no matter how you feel about it, you're always family. You can't get away from us. Once you put on the orange and purple, that's it. You bleed orange and purple, and that's life. And so I'm always excited to be back in Clemson and talk about Clemson and anything dealing with Clemson. So yes, that'll be my response for that one.
That's great. Mark, why was Reginald Hudlin the perfect director for this film?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at his body of work, it varies so much from comedy to dramatic, films and documentaries. It just that's what I wanted to bring to this film, because there's humor, there's emotion, there's drama, there's just big moments. So you need somebody that are capable of kind of delivering all that. And I've just been a fan of his work, and we're really lucky to get him. It's always hard. You're in competition when directors are in demand. So the material has to speak, and it's a lot to do with timing. So I think everyone was excited when he came in and put his hand up.
Reginald, what do you hope audiences will take away from this film?
Well, what's been really gratifying as I talk to people as they see the movie is that they're inspired, they cry, they laugh, they have the full range of emotion. And I think movies that, get beyond just being entertainment, if the movie can really inspire, then that's 2 hours that makes you feel like you got something out of it. You go, I wasn't just diverted. That enriched me. And that's certainly how we felt making the movie. And we hope that comes across our audiences when they see it.
Ray, this last one's for you. Your life is very different than it was when you were at Clemson. What things did you learn from that experience that have helped to make you who you are today?
From my Clemson experience, I had learned so much that I would say that I already knew, but never practiced as much. I had already been part of a team. I had been raised by a village up until that point. I had experienced family, but to bring it, because as you go into school as a young college student, you're really trying to find yourself, and so it was that combined with everything else that kind of gave me methods and thought processes that I would continue to use in life from this point on, because I was becoming a man at that time when I entered Clemson. And now that I became a man, just anything that led up to that was necessary, as I would feel. So I don't regret much, because I understand everything is necessary for me to move on to the next step. And so what I would pick up from Clemson, one of the most things is never to regret anything. Because that's the same time that I went from, hey, maybe I'm not going to play professional football. And that was one of those things for athletes. That's one of the most trying times in our lives, because that's our identity for most of us. That's who we told ourselves we were. This is what we told ourselves we was going to do. And so learning to transition and learning to take life as it comes is one of the things that I picked up from my times at Clemson University. And knowing that I will always have people there for me as well. So that's a great bit, but there's so much more to Clemson, and there's so much more I hope to continue to pick up from Clemson. That's why I'll always return.